Before we get started, guys, I've got to apologise. I've had a cold all week and my voice is really croaky, so sorry about that, but hopefully you can hear me okay. Hi guys, welcome to today's lesson about building your budget for Earn and Learn in Excel. I'm going to take you through the steps to be able to put together all the important data you need to be able to tell what's going to happen in the future with your money. We went through this in 2 classes with most of you guys, but I thought I'd go back to the start just so everyone can get a chance to be confident with it, and just follow along with me as I go and do the work. And if at any point you feel confused, just hit pause, go backwards and watch it again. Don't forget to save your work. So the first thing we're going to do is make a table with our main data. I'm going to start by putting our name at the top. I don't think any of you are called John Smith, but whatever your name is, just type it in. Now I'm going to start making a table with headings at the top, and that table is going to be called My Plan. And in the first column, we're going to list a whole sorts of things that make up my plan, and in the second column, we're going to put how much they are, or the value. Now we all started with a gross pay job, with a job that started with a gross pay of $480. We've talked about tax being a 33% negative number, and if you type these numbers in the way I have, you'll find that they generally Excel does the right thing and puts the right value, but we'll go back later and put dollar signs and make it look better. Now we also had our superannuation that we needed to add, and I'm just going to go through and list a few of the things that we had as our deductions. We'll just finish off this list of deductions that we have to have in our entire budget. There's a few more we have to add. We talk about walking being a different cost to driving and a different cost to riding a bike. And you'll see Excel suggesting values that it's seen before to try and help you, but just ignore it if it doesn't help. And I think the last couple are my union fees, and we also have to add just a placeholder for anything else we spend money on. It's just helpful to have a line there for it. So first of all, we're going to make the columns wider, and we do that by double clicking on the gap between B and C. I'm going to grab all the data in the table, choose a colour scheme that I like, and get my table all nicely organised. And now it's time to start adding in these numbers. And these are whatever your numbers are. These are different to mine, but you can just put your numbers in. Now in most cases these are weekly items. We know for rent and I think a couple of our bills, they're going to be paid once every 3 weeks, but just put it in here as a weekly item. Last couple of steps is to make everything a dollar sign. We do that by using the currency option in the toolbar, and it just automatically turns those ones into dollars. So we've now got a table that looks fantastic with all of our dollar signs, our percentage for tax, our pay. Let's go ahead and make sure we save our file. And guys, just a reminder that if at any point I'm going too fast for you, just hit that pause button and go back in time and just watch it again if it doesn't make sense. The next step in our budget is to put together a week by week view of how much we're going to get paid. And you might notice that we didn't talk about our PORs yet, because they're not something that are the same every week. If you watch what I've done in the video carefully, you'll see where I've put my mouse and where I've clicked on things and dragged things, and we've talked about using the little corner handle to autofill values. So just try and copy that as we go. What I'm doing now is I'm putting in a formula that connects week 1 with my gross pay. And you probably saw that I put in a couple of dollar signs. We talked about them as a way of holding onto that $480 number so that it doesn't move across as we drag. Time to make this look like a nice table. And we can highlight everything and double click the split between 2 columns, and our whole table, our whole spreadsheet sizes itself properly for us. The last step on this line is we're going to put in a total for the 3 months, just like we did in class. Make that a currency number, and there's more than $5,500 we're going to make in gross pay for the 3 months that we're looking forward. Now, it's time to start adding these PORs that we each have that are different. Don't worry about what Excel does here. It tries to suggest values automatically, but you can just highlight them, go up to the menu and click Clear Contents, and it gets rid of everything, all the formulas, all the numbers, and you can just type what you want in here. So because this is every couple of weeks that I clean Mrs. Long's car, I'm just going to put in $10 every couple of weeks. And for your second POR, it might have a different weekly payment or a different number of weeks that you do it. So I'm just going to add another one for cleaning the bins. Again, Excel's tried to be helpful. Thanks Excel, not very helpful. I'm going to highlight all those and clear the contents, and then I can go and put in those values. Now you might notice that the totals on the right are not correct. I did a funny formula that I'm going to go back and change later. You can watch now. I'm going to fix up this formula here and use this auto sum button that makes life a whole lot easier. So we just click on the cell at the end in the 3 month total and click auto sum, and it automatically picks it up, and you can see they're correct. We also talked in class about adding a total line to the table, and I did that by going into the table design and clicking total row. Again, just slow the video down, go back, watch what I did, and you'll be able to copy that process. But most of you, if you were paying attention in class, that should already be pretty familiar. So now we've got a nice table with all of our pay for every week for the next 3 months, all laid out neatly. And the next step is to move on and put together the same sort of table for our deductions. Now the My Deductions table is a little bit more tricky, or a little bit trickier, because we have to do some more calculations to add things up, like put all our bills together, put all our transport together, and also calculate how much tax we're going to be paying. But if you watch carefully, it'll make sense as we work through building the My Deductions table. Now we're going to build this table just the same way as we built the My Pay table. Leave a bit of a space. Let's start by putting our week numbers in, dragging them across. Whoops, drag them all the way across. And we can also add the 3 months total at the end, because we want it to look basically the same. Because at the end we're going to subtract our deductions from our pay, and we'll know how much money we have left over, which is the whole goal of our budget. Might as well work out tax first. That's not too hard to work out. It's our total weekly pay times our tax rate, which is $161. Now I need to put those dollar signs in, and we'll be doing lots of this. Put the dollar signs in, grab the handle, and drag it all the way across to week 12, and we now know how much tax we're going to pay every week, 33% of whatever our total pay was for that week. Might as well make a table out of it now, make it look pretty. I think I'm going to go with purple. You can choose any colour, any style you want. The next step we need to do is put these things as currencies. And now we're going to add a few more deductions, and we'll summarise some of them. Some of them will just be the total amount. Thanks Excel, you've put the wrong numbers in again. Let's just ignore it. For now we're just going to list all the things that we know we're going to be doing as deductions and tracking as deductions. The first 3 are easy, but now we're going to put all our bills together in one line, because it doesn't matter which bill it is, it matters how much we're paying in bills. Now all our transport can go together, our union fees, and let's just stick that other line in now. Now all of those numbers are wrong, so I'm going to highlight them all and go and clear the contents using that menu button at the top. But it's time to start working these things out. Our superannuation is just listed for us right at the top in our data table, so that's an easy one. We've just got to scroll up a little bit and you'll find it. We've got to put those dollar signs in after we put the formula in. Remember, all our formulas start with an equals sign. Equals $C, $7, and now I can drag it across. But I might wait and do that later, because it's fun when you drag them all across together as a group, and Excel does them all the answers for you at once. So let's go through and just do week 1, and then we'll drag all the weeks over as one big group. In each case, I'm just finding the item in the list above. Oops, I forgot to put the dollar signs in for rent. Let's put the dollar signs in to lock it in for rent. Same for bills, but bills is just a little bit different. We're going to add together our 3 bills. So we're going to add our telecom bill plus our electricity bill plus... Oh no, actually that's all we need, just electricity and telecom. Dollar signs go in. Transport has 3 things we need to add together. So we equals the first one plus the second one plus the third one. And I'm just clicking on those cells to make them come up. Now we can put those dollar signs in. I'm sure you're all getting very sick of doing that by now, but it does make it a lot easier later. Our union fees, they're a simple one, and other is just a simple one as well. This is just for buying shoes at the shoe shop. So it's time to drag all those over together. We can highlight them as a group, grab the handle at the bottom, drag them across, and we get all our answers at once. Thanks Excel. Let's use that auto sum formula, and then we'll drag it down as well, and all of them will get a correct sum at the end. Now that table needs a total row, so let's put that total row in. In week 1 we'll choose sum to total them all up, and we're just going to drag him across as well, all the way to the right, if I can find it. And now we have a deductions table with all of our totals for every week that we're going to be paying. Now the last step is we're going to put together the table that matters. How much money do we have left over at the end of each week, and how much money do we have left over in total at the end of 3 months if we saved all of our savings every week. So just like in the 2 tables we already built, we're going to go down, make some space, and start a new table. And this one we're going to call my balance, which is the balance of money we have left over. That's our income minus our deductions, or our pay minus our deductions. Let's do the same thing again, drag those weeks over, put in 3 months total. And this is a pretty easy one to work out. It's the week by week amount we have left over. But we're also going to have a line that says what's our running total, how much do we save every week, or what's our profit if we save it up week after week. So the first formula is quite straightforward. We just say it equals our total pay, and because deductions are a negative, we add the negative. And when you put them together, you end up with the balance left over every week. The next form is a little bit trickier, but just watch carefully. The first week just equals however much is left over, but the second week equals last week plus this week. And then we can drag that all the way over, and it will keep adding on last week plus this week until we get all the way to the end of week 12, and we know how much we're going to have left over at the end of week 12. We'll just auto sum all those numbers. Now remember, we don't get to auto sum the total, running total, it's just whatever it is at the end of week 12. Otherwise we'd be like Scrooge McDuck, we'd have millions of dollars. So we're going to format that table. Let's make our last table green, or I will. Make sure those are currencies, so that we get the nice dollar sign formatting. And that is the end of setting up our budget in Excel. Now if I haven't said it before, I'll say it again, save your work, make sure that you don't lose anything. And you can use this file every week. This is where we look at the start of the 3 months. This is what we think will happen. But as things change during the weeks, it's okay just to type over these formulas, change these numbers, and watch as things emerge during the week. Now, in the next part of this playlist, I'm going to make a video about how to create a couple of charts from that data. So if you come back later to this YouTube channel, you should find another lesson on how to turn this data into some cool looking charts that tells us how much we're spending on things, and also a nice graph showing us all of our money building up in our bank account week after week. I hope you've enjoyed learning how to use Excel to build your budget, and if you have any questions you can ask your teacher or ask me on Edmodo, or you can leave a comment on YouTube and I'll answer in there. If you like the video, click like, and I'll hopefully see you in Excel.